what a night. What a night for the sport. What a night for the league. And it was great to see the fans back last night for that game. To have them and their energy out there made it really, really special after everything we've went through this past year. And, Tom Brady didn't disappoint. He stepped up to the plate and really was hot from start to finish in this game. And it's the same old song and dance with Tom Brady. He always steps up and he always seizes the moment. Nobody does that better than him. At this point, Tom Brady might even be better than Michael Jordan was at answering the call late in these games. He connected with his old buddy Rob Gronkowski for a couple of touchdowns early on. And, later on in the game, the Bucs were trailing the Cowboys. I believe it was 29-28. And it's late in the fourth quarter. And what does Tom Brady do? He pulls another rabbit out of the hat, leads a game-winning drive, gets the Buccaneers in field goal range, and the rest was history. The Bucs kick the field goal. They win the game 31-28, I believe it was. And it's just amazing that Tom Brady can do this at 44 years old. He hasn't lost a step at all. He was carving the Cowboys up, and this wasn't the same old Cowboys. They look good in this game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They were rotating linebackers, keeping things fresh on the defensive side of the ball. DeMarcus Lawrence played well. They're a lot better than they were last year, but still, Brady found a way to persevere. And let's not forget, Tampa Bay had 4 turnovers in this game. So they got some things they can clean up. And they could be a lot better if they do fix those things. Brady had an interception because Leonard Fournette couldn't make a catch. And it kind of popped out of his hands right into a Cowboys defender's hands. So if Leonard Fournette makes that catch, that's one less turnover. Brady also threw a Hail Mary late in the first half, right before halftime, trying to score another touchdown. That was intercepted. You can't really put that one on him because, throwing up the Hail Mary was probably the best move there, just because if someone comes down with it, Rob Gronkowski or someone else, that's a touchdown for them. So you can't put that one on Tom. But, just completely lights it up, gets the win in the end, improves to 1-0. Yeah, there's some things that they have to work on, but at the same time, that offense has another year under their belt. Antonio Brown looked good, went deep for a touchdown. Brady unleashed a bomb to AB. Antonio Brown really made a nice catch on that play because that was one ball because it was out in front of him and so close to his head that it was just a really tough catch. But Antonio Brown did what he's always done throughout his career. He hauled it in. So a lot of good things there. Chris Godwin had a good night. He had a drop on a deep ball that if he makes that catch, the Buccaneers probably win by a little bit more. The odd man out in this game was Mike Evans. He didn't really have a great night, but when you have that much talent and you have to spread the ball around that much, someone's going to have to take a back seat. Mike Evans was that guy in this game. Maybe next week it's Antonio Brown or Chris Godwin or Rob Gronkowski. But, tonight it was Evans. Don't expect that too often from Evans. He'll probably bounce back. He's too good to only have, 2 or 3 catches. I think he had 3 catches total or something like that. But it was a quiet night for Mike Evans. But Rob Gronkowski was great. Antonio Brown was great. Bucs probably need a little bit more from Mike Evans and Leonard Fournette. But, overall, they get the win. 1-0, like I said, and moving on to next week with even more confidence. On the other side of the matchup was the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak Prescott was sharp in this game. That was the definition of leaving it all out on the field. Dak Prescott, he was worth every penny in that game. We know the team is paying him $40 million per year. And when you make that kind of money, you got to go out there and earn it. And Dak Prescott showed that, he's very capable of leading this offense. Just a great competitor. The thing you have to applaud about Prescott is just how much heart this guy has to come back from all the injuries he faced, ankle surgery, a banged up shoulder, and to go toe to toe with the defending champs like that. That was really impressive. And, if the Cowboys can get this effort every single week, then they're back. There's no doubt they're back. And, if Dak Prescott can keep getting Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb involved, because those guys were doing their thing in that game, Dallas is going to be fine. They're going to be tough in the NFC East. And they're not a team that anyone wants to play because it's pretty obvious that they can hold their own against the best. They look a lot better than they did a year ago. And it just goes to show how much this team did miss Dak Prescott because, with him going out there and just standing in the pocket and delivering and, just fighting all the way to the end. The other guys in that locker room, they notice what Dak Prescott did in that game. And they're going to want to play for a guy like that. They're going to rally around a guy like that just because that he leaves it all out on the field. There's nothing left in the tank for Dak Prescott, at least not in that game. You could just see he was covered in sweat. He was exhausted. A great performance, threw for 400 yards. Probably should have won the game. There's no probably about it. The Cowboys should have won that game. If Tom Brady doesn't pull a rabbit out of his hat and find a way to win on that game-winning drive, which if Tom Brady wasn't on the team, there's no way that would have happened. The Cowboys would be 1-0 right now. There's no denying that. It's heartbreaking if you're a Cowboys fan because they had them on the hook, and somehow the Buccaneers were able to squirm off it. But that's football. That's life in the NFL. You have to put together 4 complete quarters and find a way to close your opponents out in this league. The Cowboys did a great job, but it was 3.5 quarters instead of 4. And if they can get that last half down, you have to like this team's odds. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wasn't certain that paying Dak Prescott all that money was the right move. But if he plays every game like he did tonight, worth every penny. And the Cowboys are in good hands. Dak Prescott, he plays with a fire and a passion. And he's got all those weapons around him that make his job easier and, make him look better at times. There's no doubt about that. Look at Amari Cooper in that game. Amari Cooper was a technician. Route-wise, technician. Just breaking guys down and just so good at the little details of route running. Whether it's a comeback route or, making the defender think the opposite of what he's really going to do. He was great in this game. And then CeeDee Lamb, just so explosive and so dynamic. The Cowboys are loaded. And, if Michael Gallup didn't go down in that game, who knows? Maybe the story would have been different. A little quiet. A little bit of a quiet night for Ezekiel Elliott. But Tony Pollard looked good. A lot of things that the Cowboys can take away from this game and feel good about. There's no doubt about that. They got some things they got to clean up as well. If they would have played a perfect game, they would have won that game by even more than what they were leading there late in the game. I think it was like, a 2-point game or it was a 1-point game. It was 29-28. So if they clean up their little things that they gotta fix, Man, that's going to be a good Cowboys team. But that's all I got today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm John Kuzma. Go check out endzone blog.com.